Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Crew. On today's episode, I have Esteban Favela. And in today's episode, we talk about what it means to be a lead AC on a show. From ordering gear in pre-production, to pulling focus, to fixing problems before they even happen. We also get into the red flags you might get when production managers call you for work. And we talk about his guilty pleasure show. Enjoy today's episode. So, can I get you to say your name and what you do on set?
Well, I'm Esteban Favela. I'm AC, mostly first AC now. Yeah.
And what is it? What's like a typical day for you on set, like in detail? Like, what can you tell everybody?
It depends, like what stage of the project it is and what kind of project it is. But I find myself mostly at the beginning of a project during like pre-pro, I'll talk to the DP and the producers and stuff to gather like the appropriate gear. And I feel like I'm also that like liaison gear wise between tech department, sound, just to make sure all the components play together, you know?
Yeah.
And also that we order like all the necessary gear. So a typical day like on set during like production is making sure that everything that's needed is accounted for.
Yeah.
And also I guess like a small part of it is focus, or a great part of it is pulling focus for the camera, keeping like the subjects in focus, but also like just anticipating like what the next scene is going to need, like so gear, so everything time wise is more, so we're just not waiting on camera department, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like anticipating stuff like that, and just being ready, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's the whole, you're trying to make sure nothing happens in the future, like ruining or bad or anything that's fucked up in the future. You're the one that needs to be prepared for it. Exactly.
So if it's something scripted, obviously we'll see like what the pages for like the following day are going to be, and stuff like that might be needed. So okay, well this scene's going to call for a jib, so we're going to need the proper mounting things for the camera to go onto the jib. So just stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Or if it's like on a Ukraine or
steady. So essentially you're making sure that the DP and the operator have everything they need before they even know they need it.
Exactly. Sort of like listening in if the director and the DP are talking, kind of just like okay, we might do that, and then I'll tell the second, I was like, hey, might need that 25 on standby. DP, and then DP will just turn around and be like, hey, we should get that 25. I was like, oh, it's already on the camera.
Yeah, it's already done. We got it.
So, it's a lot of that, stuff like that.
So when you're dealing with like trying to order gear and stuff like that, that sounds a little bit like a lead AC job.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
So, I mean, are you mainly lead AC, or like, because I know there's a little bit of a difference when it comes to the lead AC as opposed to first AC, because I know the first AC does the media and the focus pulling and the lens changes.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming on certain cases that first AC, depending on what job it is, that first AC is also lead AC. So they are the ones that have to figure out the gear and then also do their first AC job.
Yeah, I think those two are pretty much the same in terms of the lead AC being the A camera first AC. on a set. So if you're B cam first AC, like it's A cam first AC is the lead. And it's pretty much, so lead AC, I guess, is more for, I want to say like, the stuff we've been doing. So it's like the multi-camera house reality stuff, like, so, or competition shows. So where sometimes there isn't a lot of focus pulling, but it's still all the, like the logistics, the hiring of crew, the figuring out the gear that's needed and appropriate, and figuring all that out, and maybe just only pulling focus for like promo shots and stuff like that,
Yeah. So, I mean, so you're still getting into the realm of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you able to tell me a little bit about before you got into production? Like, did you have like a regular 9-to-5 job? Did you go to school? Like anything?
Well, sorta. So I lived in Mexico. I did middle school and high school in Mexico, and I knew from when I was a kid, maybe when I was like 7 or 8, that I wanted to do camera stuff. I just knew that. So and specifically ACing, because I feel like I like the technical side of it, because I feel like it's like Legos, you know what I mean? It's like figuring out what works with what, how to make it ergonomic, how to make it bounce, how to like what's the top of the line. Yeah. But as for like an actual 9-to-5, no, just kind of, I guess when I was in high school, like I worked a little bit, like at a store, or like at BK and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I got I went to film school, and I think school helped in a sense to like learn just certain aspects of it, but more so the networking. And then that's kind of how I just fell into, I started tough. That was like my first US gig. And I started as a translator, because I knew Spanish, like a PA translator for that Latin America season of Tough. So, yeah, that's just how I got started. So
that's cool. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I was hired slowly as a translator.
That's cool
for Latin America.
And then you just came in, and then were you still the translator, and then you just became you asked to be like stay on the show as a PA? Or?
Yeah, so it's funny. So actually, okay, so I started as a PA translator, and then like my second day of that show, for some reason they wanted me to cover the coordinator, and Eric Sharon at the time, who was like losing his like shit, he was like, dude, like, is everything gonna be okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. So like I was covering the coordinator. So eventually I was just like the cover coordinator. So I stayed for the American season then. And then I came back for Latin America too as a PA translator. And then they just kept me as like a lead PA for a couple seasons until there was finally like an opening in the AC department, which is where I really wanted to go. So it helped like just shadowing people.
And yeah, so that the shadowing helped.
Yeah, shadowing I think helped more so for, I don't want to say knowledge-wise, but I mean, I feel like it maybe helped with certain like set etiquette.
Yeah.
So like little tips and tricks that I learned shadowing were like, hey, like your operator's been on the floor for a while. Maybe you got to take a while for that battery change or something. You know what I mean? It's like time off his shoulder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, shouldering down.
Like just little stuff like that. It's not like, so that's kind of where I learned that. But also I think it just helps other people see that you can do it. And it's just like, so I feel like maybe that helped Khalili or somebody see, like the director of photography of that show, just see, okay, yeah, he can do it and he wants to do it. Okay, cool. Maybe he's next in line if somebody bails.
Yeah.
What ended up happening. So.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
When you were going to before you were in school, you said you were working at like just some random store, and you ended up going to school for it. What school did you go to for film?
I went to this little shitty for-profit college here in Henderson. It's not there anymore. I moved from Mexico to here because it was basically less expensive to study here than to study like in Mexico City and like the film schools there and like Guadalajara. So, so I came here and my whole plan was like, I'd lived in Las Vegas before, so I just kind of stopped here. But my real plan was like, oh, go to LA, do the film school thing. Well, stay in LA.
Yeah.
But I did like the tour of like a little school here, and of course, like the guy was like, oh yeah, like I worked on Jurassic Park, I worked on Saving Private Ryan, I worked on Billy Madison. I was like, oh wow, cool, you know, and like all the classics. And then yeah, like fucking, I think our senior year, like he did work on those movies, but he was a payroll accountant.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, yeah.
Cool.
I learned a lot from, like, I did learn stuff from him, but I still was kind of like,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, that's not, it's cool, but
that's
it's not that cool.
what, like, you didn't lie, but you also weren't that truthful.
Yeah.
But I did learn some stuff. I think, like, some of the more important classes that I learned there were, it's called visual storytelling. And I think that just helped mostly to like differentiate how cool, like, this image is pretty.
Yeah. Cool,
but that's not like what it's about. It's like, what are you saying? Using, you know, depth of field, using lines, using contrast, using, like, what do you say? It's not just about it being pretty. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, let's shoot everything at a 1-2.
Yeah, you're trying to make, you're trying to tell a story.
So I feel like that helped a lot. And then also production elements and guilds. It's awesome. It's all about basically everything from like W-2s, your payroll stuff, 6-day meal penalties, deal memos. So I felt like as soon as I like stepped in, and it was like my first day on like a U.S. production as a PA, because I'd done stuff in Mexico, and I was like, yeah, this is 6-day, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I just like straight up.
Yeah.
So I feel like that class helped a lot too, especially like a lot of union stuff.
Well, that's
and then
definitely
my line producing
cool.
class too. Line producing class was bomb actually, and that's why I like how. Sometimes, and I have a bunch of LP friends who are really cool, but I'll be like, oh yeah, well, what if you just change the line to that? And they'll look at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, we have money for fucking more gaff tape, dude. Like, we need this. It's not, don't you have a contingency fee or something? Yeah, something broke. We need it.
Yeah. I didn't even know you can take, I mean, I didn't even know those, were those classes just for?
It was for, like, to get my diploma.
Like
we needed to take like all of them. It was like part of the core, I guess. I don't know.
The core classes.
Yeah.
I mean, but do you think those classes are in, like, for instance, like Full Sail? Do you think those classes?
Yeah, I bet. I would assume so. I'm not positive, but I would assume so.
Yeah, because those are some pretty like legit classes.
And it's cool that, and I think just like those 3 classes alone were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the Cardona lawsuit, so I can't really talk too positively about the school, but I think school helped me. Like, I guess, yeah, you can learn a lot of stuff on set, and I'm like very pro that, but at the same time I feel like there's other things that you can learn at school that are important. Like, it's not going to school and then you're out and you're like, I'm a director now. Like, no, but you have a good head start, but it helps with the networking too, and you also, if you pay attention, you know how every department works and like what works. You're not just like super green first day like as a PA and you're don't know what to do, like how to use a walkie or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's helpful, like to at least like boost your career that way.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people I've talked to so far that have been on this, and we've gotten to the conversation about is them going to school and them going like, is school even important?
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, for me, because I never went to school for it, and I was always I learned everything I knew on the field so far, and like. Just in my opinion, and from all these stories that I hear from everybody else that went to school for it, they don't have, like, they didn't have the knowledge going into on set. They didn't have the knowledge of like most common sense things that like we all take for granted, like all the lingo, and like walkie etiquette, and even how to use a walkie, and all this random shit. So like they come in, they're like, oh yeah, like I went to school. And I graduated, or I didn't graduate, but I went to school and I did all these classes or whatever.
Yeah. And then you think you're like hot shit or something. It's like, no, like you're still, you know.
And they still go on set and they don't know. They still, technically, they don't know shit about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, and then them working out on the field and being on the field and learning in that way, they've always said, like, they learned so much on being one day on set than they did in all their time at school.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a good and bad thing about it. I mean, me personally, since I didn't go to school and I learned everything on out in the field, in my opinion, I don't think school's great if you do it. But I'm just saying, you don't have to go to school to learn everything. I wish I did, because of exactly what you're saying. You get those classes that most people don't know any of that.
Yeah.
And especially in your field, since you're camera, we don't know like line producing shit, or especially me with the W-2s and the 6-day and how all that shit calculates. I don't know any of that shit. Yeah. Those two classes right there, I would have loved to take.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, those are the pros and cons right there.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think yeah, but for sure, like that production elements and guilds, and learning stuff on set is amazing too. It's not. I don't want to like downplay it, but I think it's like a little bit of both. But because you do got those people that go to school and then show up to set and they're like, no, I'm a DP. I'm like, okay, well. And actually, funny conversation. So I was doing the show and I see a buddy from college and he was with the PM of the show I'm doing. And he like walked by the set and he was like, oh, hey, Esteban, you been? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, hey. And then I say hi to PM. And then, I go do my stuff. PM comes back later. He's like, hey, dude, so do you know that guy? I'm like, yeah. Okay, well, a friend of mine like just wanted me to like talk to him, to maybe hire him, but like, what's the deal? I was like, oh, I went to school. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, well, he's like a DP, so if Ford calls me, they want a commercial, like I call him and it's like $1 million, like, can he DP? I was like, no, that's not, you know what I mean? Like it's, I get it, and we're all like, I get it, but it's not like.
You got to slow your roll and know your.
You know what I mean? Like you haven't even paid like a day on set or been on set. Period. I mean, there's people that do it.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Like, oh yeah, his first film made on an iPhone or whatever. And that's great, but I feel like that's a little different. Do you know what I mean?
It's
not. I don't know.
You got to slow your roll and know your limits first.
Yeah.
That's why I think in my opinion, Personally, I think it's in my opinion that everybody should start off as being a PA and know like where the bottom is to work your way up. Because there's a lot of people I know too. Like, I don't know them personally, but there's a lot of people I know I'm aware of that have started like that just went straight past PAing and all this stuff and got right into the job that they wanted, and they just treat everybody like shit.
That has to do with it too. So it's not even learning too, but it's just the culture, like just being nice, like seeing. And as a PA, you get to sponge up every department. So maybe like one day you'll hang out with sound, or one day, and so you anticipate those needs. So it just makes you like a better resource in production.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just about like not being a dick. You know, like just straight up, you got to be nice. It's not, and I'm not saying everybody that hasn't paid is like that. But
no, me neither.
And it's also, how do you say that too? Because like I feel like a lot of, I don't know, I've been running to like ACs that I've never AC'd, but they're like an AC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, dude, like this is why rates are so low. This is why like these shows come in and they're like, oh yeah, $350. I'm like, no, dude, like this, like you don't know what you're doing. It's not, you know what I mean? Like being an AC is not fucking changing batteries and tapes. That's not what you're doing. You're a technician of the camera. You have to be responsible for the camera. It's like much more. Some are cinema grade cameras. There's countless shows where I show up and they're like, oh yeah, well, yeah, the camera broke. I'm like, fucking fix it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like what's your answer? Is like, oh yeah, just go to VER. I did a show in Africa. I show up. Like 2 cameras were busted. And it's like, yeah, what are you going to do? It's middle of the jungle, Africa, like Zambia. Middle of fucking, so it was an 8-hour flight, Dubai to Zambia. In Lusaka, the capital of Zambia, we took, maybe it was like an hour little Cessna ride. Landed in this airfield. It was like maybe a half-hour drive and then like a 45-minute boat ride. So it was like middle of nowhere, no cell, nothing. And
that just sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it was fun though. And yeah, I got there and there's like broken gear, and it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna not use this gear? Are you gonna FedEx it back to take weeks to get to fucking VER so you get a new one? or any rental house. Like, no, you fix it. So I opened that bitch up and I fixed it.
Yeah.
I was like, here you go. They're like, oh, you fixed it? I'm like, yeah. Like, it's not fucking. Yeah, that's what like an AC should do. Like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, your answer should never be, oh, I don't know, broken. Figure it out, dude. Like,
Broken, send it back.
You know how much money goes through renting the gear itself, paying all these salaries, location fees, the car rentals, like all this stuff. And if it slows down because the camera doesn't work because you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of stupid, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I have to like tell PM sometimes. People are like, oh, we hired this one guy here. I was like, okay, yeah. Oh, you mean the time that you called me that your time code was off? Cool. How much extra did that cost you in post?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
So that's just kind of. Oh yeah, how much L&D did you have on that show?
Yeah, I feel like I wish there was a. I just wish that's what I was going back to is I wish everybody was able to start off as a PA to you know, yeah, you're probably gonna get shit on because you're a PA, but you're also taking advantage of being able to hop into every single department. Yeah. And then you're also like, once you get into the position in the department that you want to be in, and that's where you can see other PAs that are around and be like, yeah, I'm not going to be a dick to this guy because I used to be him or I used to be her. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be a dick to anybody because I was always being getting shit on. So I'm not going to go pay it forward and be a dick to this guy. Yeah. Like, that's why I wish everybody like, and again, like I said, it's not every person that's passed through being a PA. Yeah, exactly. It's just certain people. Some of them just have that mentality, and it's just and it immediately shows, and it's just annoying. Yeah. So I just wish everybody can start off as a PA first.
Well, yeah, and I feel like because of that too, when I PA'd, I never really had any terrible experiences. I never really had like a bad, you know?
Yeah.
I guess there was this one show like some AD was like, oh yeah, like this Vegas PAs or whatever. And I was like, oh, whatever, lady.
No, just bagging on the Vegas PAs.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, that still happens now.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, dude, never. I've been fortunate to. Yeah, pretty much never been like on a shitty set. I guess that's
cool.
Good.
I've been on a couple, but I think it was more in my head, maybe, on some of them. But there were, for sure, a couple that were... I was like, yeah, I need to walk off.
I feel like I'm good at gauging them, too. Because I do get calls, and I'll be like, oh. I'm like, oh. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, and... Yeah, you'll hear from somebody else who'll be like, it's a total shit show. Or sometimes it's fine, but... Just got to go with the gut, you know?
Yeah. No, there was one that I did like last year, and like I took it because I needed the money, and I didn't really know what it was. Like the PM called and was like, "Here's what's happening," and I needed the money, and I was like, well, how'd you get my name? And then I found out Christo got me said my name and got me the job. So I end up coming in, and it was day one where it was just fucking beyond shit show, and I took it all. Like, but I went off on the PM, and I went off on one of the operators, but it was mainly when the PM, because she was just being a dick to me the whole time. But like one of those, like that job, I didn't walk off solely because Christo got me the job, and I didn't want to fuck his name up. So there's certain jobs that you do have to take. Yeah. I mean, still, I could have just walked off, but I'm not like that. I wouldn't be I'm not a dick to anybody. Like if they got me the job, like especially Christo.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he's a homie.
I'm not gonna fuck him over like that. Like, I don't want to ruin his name. But I did talk to him about it. He apologized. He's like, oh, I don't. He's like, I don't have any problem. Oh, what's going on with you? I'm like, yeah, you've been here since day one. I just got here on the last 5 days of shooting. And he's like, oh, my bad.
I feel like it's always the jobs that are like, It's a text, and it's a green bubble text, and it'll say, "Hey, are you available Tuesday to AC?" That's it.
Yeah.
What, where, when, why, how much, nothing.
Yeah, no information at all.
So that's always like the red flag.
Yeah, that's one.
And then
sure.
Yeah.
There's the other one is they're always afraid. Like the other red flag is they're afraid to tell you what the name of the show is.
Oh, yeah.
Too, because like if you know some people that have already worked on the show, they can already tell, like they can tell you their experience. And some of them it's like pulling teeth because they're like, well, it's on the, it's on the Discovery Channel, it's on Fox, or we can't really tell you the name yet until you signed an NDA. And it's like, what? You're trying to hire me on the show. I would like to know what the show is. And then they finally break down and say it, and then I hear the name. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. Because they're like, oh, that's why we didn't want to tell you. So yeah, there's quite a bit of, like I'm not good at catching the red flags like you are on the over the phone or text. When I see it, I see the red flag when I get there on set, and I'm trying to find like the department or like where the tech room is.
Well, a good hack for that is if you get that text or if you get a call and you don't know who it is or whatever, and let's say if you actually don't answer your phone and they leave a voicemail, that's great. But let's say you answer and just be honest, like, hey, like, what, I'm a little busy right now. I'm at the grocery store or something. Like, can I call you back in like 20 minutes? Sure.
Yeah.
If they're, it's usually cool like that. And that gives you enough time to like settle down. You're at a good place. You're at home, at your desk or whatever. You're like, okay, cool. And that's when you can be like, okay, what is this? What cameras are we using? Is there like a AC per camera? Is there first AC? Is there focus pulling? Is there like what?
Yeah.
What kind of thing is this? And instead of like, if you're just like, hey, you available Tuesday? Like, hold up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like you answer the phone, and because I have done that before, and that's a little hack I do now too.
Oh,
like, hey, dude, I'm a little busy right now. You know what? I'm gonna just take a second. Write it down.
That's actually pretty smart. I never thought of that. I'm always like, yeah, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Like it's so, because like you're always on the spot. So I mean I get it. That's what they have to do, but yeah, I've never taken that approach. So I think I might do that next time.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So you basically got into this line of work though as a translator, PA translator. Then you worked your way up and got your start as an AC on Fighter.
Yeah.
So you broke into this business from Fighter. And then, that's you getting your start. And I mean, is there anything you want to do besides AC? Do you want to go up more? Like, do you want to be an operator? Do you want to be a DP or director or?
That's a good question. Like, I feel when I was a kid, it was always, I want a DP and DP or.
Yeah.
And to a point, like I still do. But I really like pulling. I really like you are the head of the camera department. This is first.
Yeah.
Other, like besides like from the DP and stuff, but like from technical side. And there's an art to it too, to focusing and to like knowing where to pull and to like, I really like that. It's like, like what I mentioned earlier, it's like it's Legos, I love that. At the same time, I would like to operate though. I don't know, it's still kind of
still jumping.
Like I feel like firsting for scripted stuff is where it's at. Like that's what I want to do for sure, 100%. But also I wouldn't shy away from operating certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I
guess like it's just because like sometimes I feel like as an operator, I don't know, sometimes you're just getting bullshit, like you're at this 4-hour dinner scene shouldered up for some rookie producer and doesn't know what he wants. And you know what I mean? And I know there's good days and bad days. Like you can't only have the good operating days, but I feel like, I don't know.
You seeing and listening to that kind of diverts you a little bit more.
And it's not even like the physical demands of it, but I just feel like at that point I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't feel like
I mean, you just at the end of the day, you just like pulling more.
Yeah, I like pulling. I really do. I really do like pulling. And I like it, and operators will ask me, like, hey, like, what do you suggest for this? Which, and I just like figuring things out and making things work.
Yeah.
I really like that. I feel like it keeps me sharp.
Yeah, I mean,
like mentally,
it keeps you sharp mentally, and it keeps you engaged in the workday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like learning more things, new things and stuff, and I don't want to be one of those fucking pet operators, conventions. Crusty old man on a chair and fucking.
You gotta make sure they get the chair though,
dude. And they're so mad. They're always so angry.
They're always mad.
Just fucking, you walk like on set and it's just mean dogging you. I'm like, dude, we're all 600 here, bro. Like, just calm down. Trust me, I do not want your job.
So it sounds. I mean, explaining a typical day as an AC or a first AC. Would you consider your day on set or some of your days on set pretty stressful, like your job as a whole, or?
It depends. Yeah. So I'd say there's days where there's really difficult pulls, and sometimes if you can't nail it, if it's like a 135 wide open on a dolly, again 4K or whatever, and so the depth of field is little. So, but when you nail it and you're good, and you just gotta be, if you let it stress it out, you're gonna bone it.
Yeah.
But you just gotta go with it. Like, okay, cool.
And
go by my marks. Go by, and you just gotta trust yourself and do it. And there's other days too where, hey, there's equipment failure. There's this. There's last minute thing that has to be set up. And damn, do we have enough cameras? No, we're gonna have to do a quick rotate. You've been there for tough when we do that. Remember when we did that lens shuffle?
Yeah,
but you figure it out and it works. And you just gotta stay calm. You can't. If you stress about it and you're angry about it and you're yelling about it, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
You got to be like, you know what? This is what we can do, and we're going to do the best of it. And so I say it's stressful to a point, but you also just got to be like, it is what it is. Not it is what it is. I guess that's a bad way of putting it, but I know I'm doing everything I can to make the situation right, and you have to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's going to make the day or the issue much smoother and to get to a solution, because you got to be clear-headed, you got to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this broke, but you know what, how about this and this, and it all works out in the end.
Yeah. I feel like it's most people I've actually asked that question to has been just like kind of exactly what you said. You just got to be chill. It's like, I mean, because our job is. This is what this whole podcast is about. I'm trying to get people to talk a little bit more in depth about what goes on behind the scenes of a show or stuff like that. So like our job so far, everybody I've talked to so far, I've gotten a little bit of pieces out of everybody to the point where the job itself is stressful, but it's the way that you got to look at it.
Yeah.
And it's the way that what you do that makes it better or not.
Yeah, and you have to trust your team too. So it's like, yeah, okay, as first you have to trust your second, if
Yeah.
And like on tough, like I trust all the ACs that are on tough. Like I know if they have to make a decision, that they're gonna make the right one based on information they have or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like I know. And that's getting back to the point where like if you get some like guy that just thinks he's an AC because he changes a battery, that's the outcome's usually not well. So
yeah, exactly.
Because I know like you guys are experienced and like you're friends and stuff, like I know you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot too.
Yeah, I mean essentially, for fighter anyway, I know that you make sure. Trying to put this in a different way, but it's essentially like I see what you do.
Yeah.
You have a shit ton of work. You're always fucking busy. So
it's a lot.
When I need something from you and something doesn't work or something's working, I usually like, you're kind of the last person I call because I don't want to bug you. And only until I actually need to talk to you will I text you or call you. But like you said before, you trust us to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
So, if the light goes out or like something that's not our department and we're getting yelled at to fix it, you know, I'll hit up somebody from lighting and I'll just go ahead and call them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then,
a lot of it is that, because a lot of times like the producer would just be like, fucking you, because they see you there.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? I'm like, fucking, that's 695, homie. I don't fuck with monitors, okay? Like,
yeah.
But I'll help you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's lighting, bro. I don't, you know. So, yeah. But yeah, I'll help you. It's a non-union show, whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll be like, hey, lighting. Yo, tech, we got the situation.
Yeah.
Oh, well, can you just do this and this? And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's and that's basically another job that's on our shoulders too. Is just something happens, and it's usually for some reason ACs are the ones that have to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're the last person I usually try to call, because I know you have just a shit ton of things on your shoulders. So I'm like, all right, bro, well, let me try to do it.
You can call me anytime. Like, you can call me.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes when it's like, oh yeah, like, well, I was like, well, okay, well, did you try like resitting the cable? Oh no. Like, well, okay, we'll try that. You know, turn it off and on. Like, you know, there's like,
do everything you think you can do first.
Yeah. So we had this joke, Lance and I, that like whenever I'd start tough, I just basically turn into like Sony customer service. And yeah, it's funny because, dude, I'd be outside that little office, just pacing back and forth with a phone and then another phone. I'd be like, yeah, dude, okay, yeah, just going back. And like Dave, to the point where Dave was like, dude, I do not want your job. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's fun.
I know. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny too. Yeah, because when we had that old PM, he'd be like, well, what do you do? I never see you like touching any cameras in fight days. I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're putting out all the fires that all the other people are trying to do.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like you're like that hourglass. You're that filter where it's like all these like, and then you're like, okay, like there's so much stuff that I'll get hit up with that never makes its way to director of photography, producer, to like just people that, like, I'm not gonna bug them for stupid stuff. You know, it's like, okay, we'll fix it. We figured it out. It's fine. Like, it's not blaming producers or stuff. It's not like an issue.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's like,
or it's just like decisions that we'll make. It's like, hey, like we can't do this, and it's like, okay, but we can do this, and this, and it's virtually the same.
The same thing,
yes.
Yeah.
So, not that you should take creative liberties. That's very different. But I mean, technically or technical wise, if it's something is the same, then yeah, you know what I mean. Like, that's where I'll kind of be like, okay, yeah, we did this.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that you
and especially because I know like the DP trusts me. Because I already know if I present the issue like, hey, actually, you know that shot you wanted? Then he'll be like, well, what can we do? And then I'll just say what I was going to do, and he'll be like, yeah, do that. You know, so you know, I think it just depends the directors of photography you work with.
Yeah, and that's always fun too, getting the whole spectrum of the different DPs you get to work with. That's always fun. I learn a shit ton every time I'm on a new show, and the DP's cool.
Yeah.
It's always nice finding a DP that helps you, that's willing to teach you, because they just know so much stuff.
Exactly.
It's so nice to know. Even with Tough, like the clearly a DP on there, he's super cool, nice. He teaches. It's funny. He teaches me a lot of shit too. So
yeah, no, Clear's a G, dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. I like working with him a lot.
Yeah.
There's another DP I like working with. I don't know if you worked with him before. Mo Fromm.
He only did Real World, right? What else?
That's where I met him at. I was ACing for him personally because I got hired on that show. I got hired on as the AC, but I was ACing for just him because he had all these people doing the reality part. And he likes being more of the creative. So the 3 to 4 weeks that I was working with him, we would just be on the strip or downtown just shooting B-roll all day.
Yeah.
So I mean, you doing time lapses and shit, that's all you have is time. So like he talked to me and helped me out a lot. And then there was a couple of the shows I don't remember, but there was a couple of shows that we worked on too. We ran into each other and we're like, hey,
that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, no, it's always cool seeing other people.
Yeah,
or seeing people again.
You talked a little bit about you were throwing the locals out there, the local members. So you're in the union.
Mm-hmm.
What union are you? Are you in the union 720 out here in Vegas, or are you local 600 in LA?
Local 600, Hollywood.
Yeah.
At the International Cinematographers Guild.
And
Local 600. ICG600.com.
it was a good conversation I want to get into with here. Just wait for these sirens.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if 695 were here, that wouldn't be an issue. Out of Hollywood.
No, it wouldn't be a problem at all.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to hit, but...
So many sirens over here.
Yep.
Damn people not knowing how to drive in the rain. So yeah, let me go back into that as so you're part of the 600.
Uh-huh.
And do you, I mean, you like being in the union?
Mm-hmm.
What in your opinion, what does that mean? What are the differences between like the non-union and union shows? Like, is there a benefit to different ones? I mean, I know there is a benefit, but maybe you can help explain a little better in detail of what you would be getting if you walked on to a union show as opposed to a non-union.
So, that's a good question. I think the number one for real thing is safety, just period safety. That being something as, well, I mean, I guess easy is the wrong word, but as simple than turnaround, having proper turnaround for people to rest and like not be sleepy at the wheel.
Yeah.
But also just
that's my big thing.
Yeah, but also just knowing that, okay, yeah, fucking local 80s in the house, and you know there's some top-notch grips here, and like it's not some schmo from the street, you know. And
yeah, exactly.
And it's rigged properly, and it's like people have taken their safety classes, and it's if there's anything, even when COVID was around, it was, hey, there's this outbreak, or hey, like there's testing, there's actual, you know, whereas shows were just sending you to like just get tested for like at the beginning of the show, whereas union shows were testing you like every 2 or 3 days and paying for you to get tested. Whereas, you know, non-union shows wouldn't really pay you for the day. So I think that's the number one benefit. But also just no bullshit, you know, just like, yeah, fucking golden hours, fucking turnaround, meal penalties, like just stuff where, like, if a producer's on their shit, which they should be, then yeah, they shouldn't have to pay any of the penalties. But if they do, then they do. You know?
Yeah.
But number one thing, safety, just safety. Yeah, no, dude, I like it. I like that you strictly do stay with your department, which is good because, you know, we already have a lot going on, so it's not like some non-union show would be like, oh yeah, like you got to set up these silks or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing, dude. I don't know how to set that stuff up.
Yeah, it's not my department.
Yeah, exactly. That's like so I like that, and that I guess goes also with the safety thing, you know. But I think that's a big benefit of it, just set wise, but also I feel career wise. It sounds like cheesy AF, but you do feel like a brotherhood. Like you really do. Like you feel like people have your back. And it's really cool. And I wish I joined a lot sooner, but living here in Nevada, it was always like, oh, this is a right to work state, blah, blah, blah. And like, and yes, to a point, but if it's a union show, if the production company signed union, the show's union, then it doesn't matter what state they're in. They have to hire a union. If I'm correct, this is from what I understand. They have to hire a union unless they absolutely cannot find anybody. But like the first call is always union. It's like, you know, when Hell's Kitchen came into town, it's like, hey, are you union? I'm like, no. They called me like 6 times, and like by the time I'm like, hey, we can finally hire a non-union. I was like, I'm in Florida, dude. I'm on another show. Sorry. Like, it's not. So, and yeah, not to bash on 720. Like, I'm sure, you know, there's professional people there and stuff, but I tried calling them because I lived here in Vegas, so I just figured it'd be easier to figure them out. And so I called, like, hey, look. And I got the cold shoulder, dude. Got the cold shoulder. I was like, oh, like, why do you want to join if Why do you want to join now? Like, there's no work, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I went to 600, and sure, it's more expensive, but they're welcoming. Like, that's what I don't, I'm not trying to, like, know any passcodes to enter this union. Like, dude, I don't know.
I mean, you didn't know too much, and you just wanted to join.
And then I met a steward from 720, and they were like, oh, well, you have to say that you do film and TV. I was like, dude, I couldn't even get that in. Like, it was just, like, it's rude. I don't want to fucking deal with that. You
couldn't even get that sentence out, yeah.
Fuck that. Sorry. Like, so it's like, I'm just trying to work, I'm not trying to,
And so that's why you like, I'm assuming that's why you like union.
Yeah, well, and I figured long-term career-wise, it was better for me to do 600 because it's essentially like it's international.
Yeah.
But also just mostly like most of the work would be in LA anyway. There's different like regions. I to be honest, I don't know how the regions work. Like, I don't think I can work in New York. That's like Eastern region. I don't know how that works. But at least like, yeah, I think I work in Texas, and, like, New Mexico and stuff like that without any issues. Whereas I believe if I'm 720 and I go to New Mexico or something, there is an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like on that one show where we were on that there were 720 ACs that then got let go because it had to be 600 because supposedly 720 isn't allowed to do film and television.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was part of that.
Yeah,
that was part of that whole discussion there.
So I don't,
That's what that's what I was.
But I don't know how that works.
That's what I was trying to figure out too. Because I'm in the union, but you're 600 and I'm 720. So that did suck. I think I was telling Austin about that last episode. Because I was talking to him about the union and seeing if he was in it.
I think he's 720, right?
He might be 720. I didn't ask him, but I asked him if he was 695.
Oh,
and he's not 695.
Oh,
but I was telling him that whole story about us getting called and because we're 720, so they called us because we're union, and then we get a call a couple days later saying we were off the show because we're not 600. So
yeah, that's weird. I really don't know how that works because I know we did that one show together, and that was 720. And 600, that was no issue. And then the last season of that one show where you got off, there was 720 people there. But then I guess randomly 600 didn't allow it. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like a huge. It's.
I don't know how that works.
We're both in the same union.
Yeah.
But the fact that our local numbers are different, it's a totally different world.
I don't think it's that. I think from what I understood, it's like because they can't do film and television, but also because I think, roster-wise, there's no AC in 720. There's camera operator, which we had camera operators at 720, but there's no AC.
Yeah.
So it didn't like transfer properly. I think that was the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure had you been a camera operator, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, on the other show that we worked on, it was a 600 show, and they filmed here. We were technically on the call sheet down as what was it?
Utility?
Camera utilities, right?
Oh.
At least that's what I was on Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I think they had a make up a term. That's not really making up, but they just had to throw a different type of term in there.
The workaround.
To make a workaround. But
because utilities can still do batteries and media and stuff. They just can't do, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not versed in like union stuff, so.
Yeah. That's why I would just.
And hey, love to 720. I'm not bashing. I'm just saying I called and they were like, nah, bro. So I was like, okay.
That's why that's why I didn't know. Like,
yeah.
It was just the whole, like, why couldn't we do the workaround again? Because it wasn't just me that got called off.
Yeah, no,
show,
I know,
so
yeah.
It was like 4.
Well, and I feel bad because I asked the lead, and I was like, hey, well, because last season 720 was okay, and
yeah,
they didn't know how to use the camera stuff. But like, that's funny. That's probably not a story for here, but yeah. So last season was 720, folks. So he asked me like, yo, dude, do you know people? I was like, yeah, but I know 720 mixed local okay, and he said mixed local is fine, 720 is fine. So I was like, oh yeah, well I know Dylan, I know Crystal, or yeah, Freddie and shit, and
yeah,
and then they were like, oh no. So
Yeah,
like,
all of a sudden.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. And it's not like it's your fault. It's just a weird thing with unions.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But I figured like eventually I want to be 600 anyway. Like, so why? So I just went to them.
Yeah, I definitely want to make the switch soon.
I feel it's worth it, dude. Like the education alone, like they do all these classes all the time, courses. There's a mentorship program. There's a hardship program. There's some sort of life insurance thing too. I think you just get that immediately, but just like the working union's great, you know, pension wise and just rate wise and stuff. And you'll get shows, dude. You'll get like non-union shows and be like, oh, yeah, you know, and you'll give out a rate or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, but this is non-union. I'm like, I know, like that's why it should be more money because now I have to pay for all this other shit out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So it's not like.
Yeah, I know exactly what that was.
Non-union should not be like synonymous with shit. You know, it shouldn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, like it doesn't matter. They're still like, you know, trying to make a TV show here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're still trying to make one. It's just that whole union thing is so weird. Like I still don't understand. I'm still trying to like get in the know of it and understand a little bit more information.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna. I wanted, like I said, like I want to join, but I think I'm gonna put off a little bit.
There's a payment plan, and it's surprisingly easy to get in, because so that whole right to work state thing is what put me off for a little bit, and then after a while I was like, oh, probably it's so hard. I gotta fucking find all my call sheets, email them, and so it's incredibly easy. It's just some form that you send to like each payroll company, to like CAPS and EP and whatever the other one.
And all that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. So you just send them like, oh, this is my name, this is my address, this is my social. You just tell them I'm trying to get the paperwork for the union, and they basically send an email to C staff, being like, oh yeah, we have this guy. Like CAPS will be like, oh yeah, he worked so many days on this show, blah blah blah, and they'll CC you on it so you have a copy. And then after, I don't know, it took like 4 or 5 days, and C staff was like, yeah, you're good. Take these classes. And then like a week later, 600 was calling like, hey, you got a credit card?
Oh, shit. You ready to start paying or what?
Yeah, no. They were actually really nice. No, 600 was really, really welcoming. It's for real. And it's like, you feel like you're something like bigger than, you know, it's like for real, it sounds cheesy AF, but it's like you do feel like this brotherhood.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It's really nice and welcoming. And even like on set, when you'll find like, oh, are you 600? And even if it's like a non-union show, like you kind of feel that bond.
You can feel.
It's so weird. I don't know. Yeah, but you do feel that bond. Like, okay, yeah, we're homies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I kind of, or I don't know if it's just me being weird or something, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I want to. I think I'm gonna put off a little bit until some of my personal shit goes away, like my credit cards and all that shit. Like I want to be able to pay some of my debt down, and then I can focus on another payment.
No, yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, I know it's boning me, but I think I just need to take care of some shit first, and then get into it.
Yeah, interest free, bro. Interest free, and I mean, it's always cheaper to do it now than later because the dues just go up. You know,
yeah, they just go up. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep going up. Yeah. I know about all that part. So,
well worth it though. Best, honestly, straight up, best investment I've ever done.
Well, that's good.
Because it was either that or a house, and like I know, like with house prices right now being insane and stuff, it sounds silly, but
shit, yeah.
But I really do think me joining 600 was probably like the best thing career wise that I could have done, for real, straight up.
Yeah.
Like just career wise, and like with the courses available, with the just like that. Fraternity, that's like the networking I've been able to do because of it. It's like for real.
Well, it's good to hear that you want to join you wanted to join the union and you were able to get in and you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm glad you're part of it. I know on set you fuck around and joke on doing some union jokes and stuff like that. Like, that's not my job. That's 6'8", shit like that. But I know you're fucking around. It's all jokes. But I mean, I think it's a good way to go about if you're in the industry too, is trying to join union. I want to, so I think I'll get there in time.
Yeah.
I just have a question right here for you. Since you're an AC and you kind of you're on the fence of wanting to be on the cusp of doing something a little different, but you still want to keep following back into ACing and be the first AC. Do you have a favorite?
I don't see it as a falling back, and I feel like
no,
like
yeah,
reality
not falling
producers
back.
are like, oh, you're an AC. I'm like, bro, like I'm not like people come to me to like ask how this shit works, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not. Yeah. It's not a brick and tape thing. It's You know what I mean?
Wrong choice of words I used.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people. Like, oh, you don't ever want to operate every day. I was like,
yeah. I mean, there's some people that don't want to do that. It's you know.
A lot of people see this like hierarchy, which sometimes it's like not.
Yeah,
especially in reality.
I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to word it as that.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but do you have a favorite type of camera? That
like just system,
that you get to use. Like if you're ever on set, you get called in for a job, and when you ask what camera we're using, like do you have a favorite type of camera that you're always like, fuck yeah, I'm good?
Oh, fuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck between the Venice or like just the Mini, the Mini LF, the MILF.
Yeah,
but really, I don't know. It's a hard pick. Which one? Like Airy, just everything works. It's amazing. It just works. It's great, you know? In German.
Yeah.
But the Venice is fucking kick ass, dude. Venice is cool.
I mean, your preference, it's right up there with the
yeah, absolutely. Like just
with the Alexa.
Yeah. Well, probably more so Venice, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. I don't know. Like work wise, like rig wise and stuff. Like just, but. It just depends what it calls for, you know. Like a Venice, you can't really do on a Ronin, you know, unless you have a Rialto. So it's kind of
you just have to
keep it has its pros and cons, you know. But I think, dude, Venice is the way to go. I think.
Do you also happen to have like a favorite type of glass? Because surprisingly, I asked this question. I haven't asked this question that much on the show, but. Like I ask other people, and most of the time I get like whatever. Like I don't get like people have a favorite type of glass. It's weird.
Well, it depends. Like I feel like aesthetically, like every glass has its properties for, like every series of lens has its properties for, like certain aesthetics. You know, so like it depends what kind of look you're trying to achieve, like in a film, and I guess that's more of a DP question role. Or even director. But as far as from a technical standpoint and like at least pulling focus on,
I would say like your brand of glass.
Yeah, I would say sharper's better. So like
like
Master Primes, you know, Master Primes are great, and just the barrels on them's great.
It's smooth.
They're all. The rings are all in the same spot, or the S7s are really good too.
Yeah. See, like I like the Sigma Arts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those are my preference.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Sigma Primes.
I just feel like if you use those and like larger sensors or like higher resolutions, I don't know if you got. I mean, I haven't tested them, but I don't know if. Like basically, at least when I'm pulling, like what I don't want is. So I did the show. It was what was it? What's that? I can't believe I forgot what it is. What's that Canon, like the new R5? Is it the R5? The R5. But the Cine R5C, is that what it is?
I think that's what it was.
So it was my first time using it.
RF or something
yeah,
like that.
And then we had he had these old, why can't I'm spacing out on the word from those Russian anamorphics. Well, I can't believe I'm spacing out on the name of. No, they weren't Koas. It's fucking.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about too.
I'm spacing out on the name. I don't know why, but he had that, and then he had like Hollywood Black Magic in front of it. So this lens already like sucks. Like straight up, this lens sucks. It's from the '80s. Like that's why people like it. Yeah. It looks like ass. Well, because it's like like suave, smooth, like it's good for skin tones. I get it, but it's like not sharp.
Yeah.
And then it's like fucking like huge sensor on a fucking Ronin, and then you're putting diffusion on top of it. So it's like, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck, like, I don't know if I'm sharp.
Yeah.
Like mathematically, yeah, you're fucking 5 feet away, okay. And I hope these witness marks line up because this is a still lens, bro. This isn't even a fucking cinema lens.
Yeah.
So, like, the witness mark is the, like we did the test and it was fine. So
it's like, yeah, technically I'm good, but
yeah,
I can't see
the
it.
monitor, like, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I don't really like going off monitor. I do like being more like next to the camera and just going off that. Occasionally, and occasionally itself, occasionally just going off the monitor just to double check. But I don't like, because if you go off the monitor, then technically you're always late.
Yeah, there's always some type of delay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even the delay from the Teradek, but it's like by the time you see where the actor's going, like if you don't anticipate the movement, then you're late. Mm-hmm. So that's why I just like going next to the camera.
Yeah, there's the delay with the transmitters and the actual just you have the physical you looking.
Because you just doing this, like, that's enough to. So I like I'll hold the unit like this in the ring, like this. So let's say if you're coming towards me, I'll do this, and then like I'll have the monitor sometimes like here if it's a 13-inch. So I just kind of like.
Yeah.
But realistically, like, this is kind of where I'm at.
Are there sometimes like some instances where you can pop the monitor up on an arm and have it, like, if you're like behind the operator or the DP that's shooting, and you just pop a monitor up on the camera itself and just have it on an arm?
Yeah.
So you're looking at that one.
I've done that for TOF when we did the container thing. I had a little 5-inch off the camera, the Alexa.
And that doesn't bother you that much, right?
No, and I actually prefer that because I'm next to the camera, so I already see like where the actor's going in space, and I just have my confirmation there. So I'm like really like
So it's a lot easier to work with if if
and
you
the camera was like on
monitor
sticks
there.
or anything, so it's not like I was boning anybody on shoulder time or anything. So because
so,
if you're like following the camera, and then like that's when it gets crazy because that's
a lot different than
I think so. At least for me personally, but I just like going off the space itself without, like, I like the monitor for confirmation. That's it, straight.
Just to confirm, but you like doing the actual seeing the person.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the times when I've actually pulled, I'm more of a. I like doing the monitor. I don't like doing. I'm not a big fan of the transmitter monitor, but I do like the onboard monitor. Being able to see, especially so I'm not in anybody's space, especially like the operator.
Yeah.
I like being like, if like the camera is like right here, I like being off to the side over here, and then like, my body towards the operator, so I'm just like this.
Yeah.
And then because I'm opposite, I'll do the reference to looking at them, and then I'll look at monitor. But probably not doing it the right way. But I mean, that's just how I feel more comfortable doing it because I can see the monitor and I can see them. But
I don't know if there's a right way.
Yeah, it might be.
I guess
preference
as long as you
point.
nail it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just feel better like that way. But
so getting a little bit out of production talk. Do you happen to have any extracurricular activities that you like doing outside of work that helps a little bit with stress a little bit?
Ooh. Dude, I really want to say, like, not stressed.
Yeah,
like,
but
not,
just
not like, I need to do this to like relieve stress.
Yeah, no, just things to do that take you away.
Something that I like to do just to get away is like I do like going like on little hikes.
Oh, okay.
Which is that what you call it if you go on like on a trail, just like a little, like, I'm not rocking or anything, just like I do like doing that. I love that. Recently I've just taken up my photography again, which is something I like wish I kind of didn't stop. Mm-hmm. But it was those things where it's just like I'm working, and it's
that kind of falls.
I never
on the
had
back
time
burner
for myself, but I'm making that time for myself again. So
that's good
to get like back to the roots. So I'm getting back into that. And my car stuff, I do like tinkering with the car and figuring things out, and I feel like it's mechanical, and I like to read too and just catch up on like the newer manuals and new reviews and new gear stuff like that. If there's any classes available, like I'll try to take them. But
Well, that's nice to know, like the fact that
or vacation and stuff.
Yeah, because it's not the whole stress part of it. It's just things to do to get away from, to have your you time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No, yeah.
So it sounds like your you time a little bit is still being involved in camera. So I mean that's fine with me.
Yeah, I love it.
Too.
I feel like having that you time is hard, especially like during a show. It's not.
Yeah, you really don't get any time for yourself,
especially when you're like essentially like on call. Like 6 a.m. Like, hey, this is wrong. Like, okay,
cool. What do you want me to do about it?
Okay, that's literally tech department, but okay, cool. Copy that. I'll fix it. Yeah.
So, but the only thing that's not camera related is hiking. So, have you been doing that for a while, or
a little bit? Yeah. I just like going out, just walking,
just being out in the in the wilderness.
Yeah, like if I have at least like a good day, I'll make the trip up to Zion. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Or just Red Rock here, or just like any like little trail like in Boulder City or something.
Yeah, I mean that's really nice. That. I'm not much of a hiker, but I get it. I get why people do it.
Yeah,
I'm just not personally one of those guys. It's just in my wife loves it. I make a joke all the time where I'm just like, what? I don't feel like just climbing a big ass rock today. I don't feel like doing that. Like I'd rather I'm one of those people, which is weird. That's one I want to ask you is I enjoy watching movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
and I'll just keep I'll even rewatch so many, and I'm not tired of it. And I like playing video games, and I also like doing other things that aren't work, like shooting this. I'm still involved in camera and like shooting music videos and still like I'll still do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like
it's your stuff. Yeah,
I come back to I as well come back to camera or movies or TV shows or video.
Yeah.
So I'm in the same boat. I just like I'll walk my dogs and stuff. But yeah, just hiking is I'm not a big fan. But do you actually enjoy watching movies and TV shows?
I do, and to the point where I think it sucks because I have like a movie list, but because I'm working and like thankfully I'm busy, but like I want to like these are movies that I want to watch. Like I want to sit down, like my phone's off, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm watching it. I'm not like watching like that's like and my guilty pleasure. I like Law and Order. I like Law and Order. I love Law and Order. But I love Law and Order to the point where like I put Law and Order and I do dishes. I like clean, you know what I mean?
For the background
exactly, and like occasionally like because it's like easy enough where if I miss 5 minutes I still understand.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Irishman, like I can't do that. You know what I mean? So
you miss 5 minutes, you're a little fucked on that.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I like movies, but at the same time it's like detrimental that
you like to sit down and pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And I'm the exact same way.
And so that's why I feel like I haven't watched movies lately because I feel like I haven't had that time.
Yeah.
Because like thankfully I'm working, but like at the end of a 10, 12-hour day, like I don't really want to just sit down and like watch a movie. Like, there's stuff I need to do. I need to do laundry. I need to do like errands or whatever.
Do
all
shit.
By the time all that's done, or like see my girlfriend and stuff, like I want to go to bed so I can wake up early to go to work.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's one of my big problems too. I'm a little bit of the opposite, where I'll still do like my chores around the house and do all that shit, and then it's like, because I usually work the late shift on most shows. So I'll still be getting off at like 3 a.m, and I'll do like I'll put at least my clothes in the washer or whatever, and I'll clean some dishes or whatever, and then I'll actually sit down and put that movie on.
Yeah.
And I fuck myself every single time because I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to sit there and watch it and finish it. And then I just end up screwing myself because I get like, 4 hours of sleep, and I'm like, oh, God damn it, why'd I do that?
Yeah.
And I can't help it. Like I want to watch it, and it's just gonna piss me off if I can't.
Yeah.
So
no, that's why I feel like my movie list is so long, and it's like when's the last time you saw a movie? I was like, like Saw movie. Like,
Yeah.
so it's
like
like
actually sat down and paid attention.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
watch these like watch like shitty movies or whatever, like just TV for
just for
pleasure, for
background,
actual
yeah.
like entertainment. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, dude, I love Law and Order. My thing right now is The Sopranos, though.
I just rewatched it.
So
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I'm on season 6 now, though. So yeah, but that's kind of like when I have a moment, because it's like hour chunks. So it's like, okay, I'll do an episode here, or like here.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so I'm finally like watching that. But but that's the thing. It's from my list, and fucking when did that come out?
Yeah, long
Like,
fucking
The Wire
time
is
ago.
still on my list.
The Wire's on mine too. I haven't seen that either.
So it's
The first time I watched The Sopranos, I think was during COVID, so it was like 2 years ago, and that was my first time watching it.
that was West Wing for me.
Oh, that was
All
West Wing for
COVID.
you?
I saw all of West Wing. I don't remember how many seasons or anything, but it's long.
Oh
and
yeah,
and I did it in
super
like
long.
I did it in like 4 months.
Damn.
I was watching like 6 episodes a day,
that-
5-6 episodes a day.
Isn't that in like the seasons? Aren't they up into like the 20s?
Yeah, and it's like 20 episodes, like per season or something. I did it in like 4 months.
Damn. That's crazy.
It was really good.
I think I got 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me one job that was like you felt your most fulfilled or most proud job you've worked on?
I would say like fulfilled, like something that I'm like super proud because I know like we killed it and stuff, is honestly probably Tough. And I know we bring it up a lot, but I feel like Tough has a lot of like shortcomings when it comes to like, like there's budgetary restraints and there's crew restraints and there's like so many things, and you see how many cameras we have and how sometimes little support we have, and how just one day it's like, oh yeah, we'll add this and this, and but we're able to do it to make it work.
Yeah, we're still able to get
Or
it
it's just like they'll throw things at us and yeah, we kill it. Like I really like, I've worked on really cool stuff, but I feel like Tough is not one. Like where I'm like, because there's other shows and it's always like, yeah, we have money. Like, yeah, sure. What do you need? I'm like, okay, well, I need all this. So like, oh, cool. Whereas in Tough, it's like,
yeah,
we can't afford anything, but can you make it work? I'm like, okay, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Just because like we're stretched so thin because we have so many cameras up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it works. So I think that's fulfilling, like, because I know like we just kill it as ACs.
Yeah.
Like that's the one show where I feel like if you have shitty ACs or if like we're not a part of it, then it probably goes sideways. I really do think that. Like that, yeah. Like for real. Like I'm not saying like I'm sure there's people like way more talented than us, but I know they probably want to put up with a lot of bullshit. And but also I feel like I don't know, dude. I really want to say like even those people would be like, no, dude, you can't do that. Like that's you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we just like, okay, yeah, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want another camera up there for sure, dude. Let's do it, bro. Let's do
Yeah.
it. And it works. Like it all works. And it's just like quick. And like those fucking they're like 28-second lens swap.
Oh,
17 to
yeah.
120 Alexa Mini comes out on my shoulder, grab it, boom, sticks. 17 to 120 off, 25-300 Fujinon goes on there, lens support, follow focus, donut, map box, 4-pin power, BNC, off to the races. 28 seconds. I'm proud of that. That's
I remember. I remember timing you on that too.
Yeah. So I'm proud of that. But I'm happy to be a part of all shows. Like I feel like all shows have really cool vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I love Tough because I feel like it is like a family thing.
That's a big one on me too. Yeah.
But I lead AC these other shows, especially like these cowboy shows, and they're really cool because dude, like, but like I feel like it's not that way with everybody. Like the fucking LP and PM and EP, like we're tight. I love those guys, but like some guys like it's just like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey.
Yeah.
Whereas in Tough, I feel like every single buddy from like PA to literally EP is like, hey, what's up? You know?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I don't know. And yeah, I've been lucky to be like part of some huge projects, but it's also kind of like.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like it's fun and it's cool and you'll meet like great people, but it's not like, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, no, but I think that's great. But tough is fulfilling just because I know like fucking we kill it. Like I really do know we kill it.
Yeah.
So for like the resources and time that we have, like I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot. And especially because like, yeah, like we'll sometimes fill in the role for like other departments, you know?
Yeah.
So, dude, it's a lot.
Yeah, no,
it's a lot.
I mean, I know about
That's
it.
why I'm like, no, we killed it. Those fucking lens shuffles, dude.
Definitely a lot of shit.
I'd wake up at night, like my first seasons when I was leading. After fight nights, I'd wake up, like fucking I'd be sleeping and just wake up with, shh, like the walkie fucking
from
thing.
the walkie, yeah.
Like just shh. I'm like, what the fuck? And like, dude, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the ghost.
I guess chirps. I was. Yeah, I guess I was kind of. Yeah, the chirps. Yeah, that's what it was. Shh. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
Anyways, I'm much more relaxed now.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely from when you started being a lead AC to now, you've definitely gotten to fall into the comfort zone of you knowing what to do now.
Exactly.
So
exactly, it's like knowing what to do, knowing what to anticipate, but also just because, dude, it was always those fucking curveballs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this, like what?
What?
I was like, hey, what about like? I was like, fuck, dude. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I love that show. Like that show means a lot to me. I started there, and I think though, like that's also why. But
yeah,
but everybody's cool. Like I love everybody. Like fucking Gary's cool shit. Cully Lee's awesome. Clay's amazing, and it's like all people that, you know, when I was a PA, like, and to this day still, like I really look up to them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like Nicole and fucking like even Fitz, you know, like I fucking love Fitz, you know, and
it's the family.
Like yeah, Fitz
family
is like Fitz is like a big bro, you know. Like he'll be like, yo, bro, like, you know, this because, you know, he'll show up to set and he'll be like, bro, you gotta chill out, you know. I was like, okay. You're a little stressed. I love Fitz, dude.
Yeah.
Jeremy, dude, fucking Jeremy Austin's this shit. My first camera operator. Yeah, dude, everybody's fucking cool. Yeah, everybody's cool.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy going back all the time. It's I mean, it's not your family, but it's your work family.
Yeah.
And that's the one job that we can all come back to, and we know it's just we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be, you know, we're gonna be relaxed because everybody knows each other, and it's just gonna be. I mean, there are obviously some days where yes, the curveball, but
yeah, essentially
like you enjoy going to work and hanging out with these people.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like
dude,
it's fun. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, because it's like I feel like a lot of shows like, oh, we're family, and it's like, yeah, to a point, but it's like, nah, bro, it's not the same. It's
definitely not the same.
Not the same. So that's yeah. No, tough is cool. I didn't bring it up probably. Well, I mean, with Gary and then episode 2, I know you brought it up too.
I mean, I
don't know if this is not like tough talks. But.
I think I've brought it up every fucking episode so far. It's one of my favorite jobs. So
yeah, I do like the job a lot.
I think it is brought up every episode actually.
Yeah.
So I don't care. It is.
I guess that's where we all met each other too. So it's like
yeah,
where we all consistently see each other. So it's like
yeah, because we don't really have time. Like every now and then we'll have time to sit down and go to a bar and drink and
yeah.
But how often does that ever happen?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's the other aspect is you get to come back and see everybody.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's like a big like reunion.
Yeah. So I think I have that one last question for you, and this is one I ask everybody: is do you happen to have any advice for a person that's starting out and wants to get into the camera department?
Yeah. Okay. to figure out, like, if you really like camera,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to like camera. And really just, like, dude, a lot of resources are online. Like, it's surprising how much information, like, you know, there's tons of books, there's tons of just tutorials, and like just even reading the camera manual, like, that's such a, like, it's a cache of knowledge in there. And
yeah, you're already doing a lot of things that some ACs don't even do that.
Exactly.
So,
If like, you know how the camera works. And so there's these, like, really great books. So it's like the assistant cameras manual. It's by David Elkins. It's really good, and it tells you, like, pretty much, like, everything from, like, A to Z, like, during prep, during, like, what does this first AC do, what does the second AC do, like, what's your responsibilities, like, you might have some pointers too, and, like, how to get started too, as even, like, a camera trainee. But also there's this other book, and it's called Digital Cinematography, and it's David Stump, yeah. And I don't know why I'm thinking Deep Blue Sea. No, he didn't shoot that. I don't know. He's a DP.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall what he shot, though, but he has this book. It's called Digital Cinematography, and it's so good, and it's, like, goes into how cameras work.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you know how a camera works, you can just troubleshoot it.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it's not a magical box that you turn on and it records images somehow into, like, a piece of plastic. How does that work?
Yeah.
Read the book, figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it is magic, you know? It's like you figure out it's a piece of plastic and it has moving images, and it's fucking insane, but it tells you how it works, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's 1,000 pictures.
Exactly.
Making something move, yeah.
So I feel like those resources, but really just, like, the camera manuals alone are insane. And that's what I, like, when I was younger, like, that's what I would do. And I'm confident that I knew, like, even, like, how to use the Alexa when I came out when I was, like, 18, just by reading the manual and, like, seeing the tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, yeah, when I actually got my hands on one, I was like, yeah. Like, it's a classic, the big boy, you know?
Yeah, I can picture you doing that too.
So it's kind of just reading manuals, really.
Just
and
read
then
manuals,
eventually,
read
yeah,
books.
just and starting, you know, like maybe as a trainee or a loader, or well, I guess like a digital loader or some sort of camera PA, and just listening to your first and second, and just listening to what's going on. And they have all those tips and tricks and, like, little tools that throughout their career they've been like, oh yeah, well, you know, this is my hack for this, you know, and like, this is why I always carry, like, this cable, this is why, you know. It's like little things like that are just, like, such a help with knowledge to, like, make you better.
Yeah, exactly. Just,
so
I mean, there's quite a bit of information I got from these books. I'm missing one.
Yeah, I don't know those.
Yeah,
I was asking about this one first. I haven't read that one, but
the Filmmaker's Handbook one.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
Yeah,
but the for real, like, the camera assistant manual is really good, and it's made from, like, a first AC. It was like a dope ass, like, David Elkins. It's like OG the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's, like, something to get. Yeah, and every now and then there's workshops, which I feel is good, but really just shadowing, asking questions, and, like, knowing when to not ask questions, like knowing when to shut up and watch. You know.
Yeah, that's another important part too.
Yeah.
Just as important as
like, respectfully, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
just as important.
Yeah. So, you know, we get, like, yeah, like, sometimes there's newer people on set, and, you know, yeah, you know, you're curious and you want to know, and we get it, but, like, there's also, like, a time and place for it. You know what I mean? So it's not like you just calm down, just listen.
Slow your roll a little bit. Yeah.
Listen a little bit, really watch, and see what happens. You know?
Yeah. No,
I think that's, like, the best tip, and you gotta like it. You have to like camera department. You can't. There's countless times where, like, PMs have been like, to cheap out on the rate or something, be like, oh, we can't, like, we make like a PA and AC, and it's, like, not to diminish the role of PA or anything, but it's like, dude, like, it's not like this. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not, like, I don't know. That's why I feel like what we were talking about earlier, where you got, like, some people that think they're ACs, and it's like, no.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not be a dick. I'm not trying to be on a throne here, but it's just like... It's just like respect for the craft itself. But it's...
You gotta want to be in it.
Yeah, but it's also just like... You have to be ready for it. You know, it's a big responsibility, and I feel like people just throw it around like it's like some like next step. Hey, you've been a PA for 2 seasons. You're an AC now. What the fuck? Like, no, that's not how that should work at all.
Well, it's not, and it's also like you were saying, it's not just changing battery and changing tape. It's, there's a science to it. There's an art to it. You need to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because you can definitely fuck a camera up if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So like
and
you were saying,
and how to troubleshoot, like how to use it, when to use what setting. Okay, this has dual base ISO, like, and you make those recommendations. You learn to make those recommendations to like even DPs or the operators will be like, hey, it's like, you can do this on the camera, right? Yeah. Oh shit,
Yeah.
It's that. It's like knowing. Hey, bro, we're outside. You sure want that? Hey, I got a polarizer in the bag. Oh shit, yeah, thank you. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
No, well, that's the same as anticipating.
Exactly. Yeah, that's anticipating, but it's also like knowing like how and when to use a polarizer, or how and when to use like a grad. Yeah. Like there's this DP I work with all the time, and I'll be like, yeah, we're gonna go shoot some stuff. Just bring that. I'm like, you don't want these filters? Like, nah. And then, I already know exactly what strengths he wants, so I'll bring them. Yeah. And he'll be like, remember when I told you not to bring that? I was like, I brought it. Here you go. I love Dave.
Esteban, you son of a bitch.
I love Dave, dude. Dave's fucking cool as shit, dude. I'm really lucky to, like, I feel like he's my mentor. Yeah. So he's really taught me a lot. So really, like, that's like, I look up to him a lot. So I feel like if you have a relationship with somebody like that, it could help you get far in the camera department, and just like also to like ACing. Because there's like so many stuff that he's taught me and that I've asked, and it's somebody that I know knows their shit. So it's
100%.
Yeah. So it's like he'll be like, oh yeah, this and this. Like, no, or no, this. Like, and sometimes like stupid questions, but he'll totally answer you. So
yeah, I've asked him a lot for a lot of questions myself. So I feel pretty good when I'm talking to him too about No, and I personally never feel stupid when I'm asking him a question, because it's like legit. I don't know what it is. Can you tell me? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning. So yeah, I like Dave a lot too. He's fun to work with. I personally think he's fun to work with.
I love Dave. Dave's fucking cool, dude. I really like Dave.
But
and he's cool. He's funny, dude.
Yeah, he's super funny.
He's funny.
That's why I like it working with him, because he's funny. Yeah. And he knows his shit.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna do it, man. I appreciate you coming on and taking the time out of your day to help me out and hang out for a bit.
Sweet. Yeah. Thanks, Dieter.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me to bullshit you.
Yeah. That's all